Sometimes it looked okay, other times not so much. They need to brush back up on it. And we also saw them try out score on Nidalee, and that's the big one for me, because Nidalee right now is one of the few APs making her way onto a meta that is not so much about these individual skill shots and these hard carry junglers. It's falling into the Sejuani train, which has been banned out, and here we go, Astronaut Death. What is he telling the command center? He's half.
His ears are so shiny.
It's half Optimus Prime.
He's crazy. Crumbs is better than Score.
What does it say? There's got to be an exclamation.
From Australia, Kappa forehead.
Oh, it's upside down. That's why I said from Australia. Much love.
KT Whiting, she's with her husband. I just caught that right at the end. That was in Korean. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, met them earlier.
Making all the signs. Oh, it's Smeb. I don't know that he looks like that gopher.
Zach is up. Zach is up. Ever have left Zach available for Score, so the decision of taking Nidalee or not isn't that applicable now, as it's got to be locked in.
It's got to be Zach.
You take it.
Give us the Zach. Come on. Okay. There we go. Gonna take that away. Ever8, they give them Zach, and
it's likely in exchange for a Kalista, though.
Yeah. Which has done pretty well. Okay, we're gonna see a Jace hovered for the first pick for now. Ever8, they banned Thresh away from themselves, so if they wanted to go with that support counter against the Zac, they don't have an option now, but they will go with the Jace.
A strange pick to lock in this early on. However, if you are KT, you have absolutely no qualms in locking it in right away if you have the Zac. So this might mean that Longju, from their prowess with Khan's top lane Jason, how outspoken he has been about the pick, has stirred some waves across the world, across the LCK, to have some more Jace top start taking priority. In itself, he's an absolute lane monster, just obliterates anybody that gets to him on a 1v1 basis. However, when you're dealing with a Zac that can gank you, as long as Smeb can pack enough damage in this combination, he'll be fine. But what they are packing is a wealth of engage. These are like the best hard engaged champs right now.
Yeah.
This is the best engaged in the current League of Legends. Zac, Kalista, Rakan.
And they gave it to them. They didn't ban Zac, and then they didn't take Kalista or Rakan. They go for the Kog'Maw and the Jace. And, okay, we'll see Septon on Orianna again. At least he gets to pick that up, as it wasn't banned.
It's another immobile champion against the hardest engage you could possibly ask for. So, Ever have to be thinking about their jungler and support so much. I think the Tahm Kench might be the only solution they can have here, but this engage is already far beyond the reach of a simple Devour, and now I'm kind of worried about what Ever has in store, because if they're banking on scaling into this lineup, after that grueling Yasuo defense that Jin Air put up against KT, they bounced back with the Kalista composition and just perfect game Jin Air. It wasn't quite it was close to a perfect game, but it wasn't even close.
Swept them under the rug, essentially. Just hid them away in the corner, saying, no, don't look at Jin Air.
It was
nothing happening there.
It was methodic. They put the Roomba on, and you never heard of them again.
They had some guys that could take care of them.
So the Braum gets locked in, and a good support to get rid of, to stop some of the potential engage. But actually, they get rid of the main tank, so now they find themselves that they absolutely have to go with a Gragas. If you do not pick Gragas here in the jungle, I don't know what they have in store. Okay, Zyram makes some sense as a AoE CC, so they're trying to peel themselves with just abilities and damage as opposed to the traditional tankiness. But it's another champion that can fall to the hands of this engage on command.
Needs to have some really spectacular positioning, make sure that he can disengage. We're seeing a Gangplank cover. Haven't seen this all too much in summer. We saw it a bit in spring. Okay, not going to go with the Gangplank this time. I was hoping this would be the experimental pick.
You yourself say that if you hover, it doesn't count. Go for it. That's quoted.
You caught me. Well, it is going to be more normal. Jarvan also offers even more engage. And LeBlanc definitely good at locking down single targets.
LeBlanc is like the nitrous in your car here, but it's legal. So she's now just in there, going to accelerate the pace of the game to depths, to speeds that I don't think Ever might be familiar with. Now this composition from KT is all about just finding you and killing you with a great team fighting presence at the hands of both Rakan Zaya as well as, or Rakan Kalista, pardon, as well as Zach. And Ever just like, oh, it's a Jace jungle. Oh, we're seeing it again. It's Jace jungle. They ran this in the Challenger series and we never saw it. We talked about it week 1 of this LCK server, but it's Jace jungle.
It's happening. He gets a little head rub too, Malrang, to pump him up. But as you were talking about, that doesn't really offer them a main tank. They don't really have a front line. It's just all about poking and trying to damage, and you got a split push out of Camille.
It's like, well, if you're going to try to dive our carries, how about we're all a carry?
You can't kill us all, right?
Which is legitimately the game plan and how these team fights would pan out come 50 minutes. But I have a feeling KT is not going to allow that.
Camille is the only ball carrier, so she needs to be in the fights if they want to set up some sick shockwave action. But that'll be hard to pull off against this composition regardless, even if you do have that ball carrier. So going over the East composition once again, KT kind of got their pick of the litter, and Ever8 let them have it.
Yeah, they were willing to give away those champions for Jace and Kog'Maw. So the Kog'Maw understandably, but you are faced off against Zach. So typically, while I would appreciate this kind of creativity in the composition from the likes of Ever, when you offer it at the hands of the most banned champion in the league, Zach, it makes me question if it was a wise choice, considering that they don't have any way to escape that elastic slingshot.
Well, we'll see if they can pull the rabbit out of their hat as they're going up against KT. Ever8 versus KT, game number 1. So here we go, game number 1, KT versus the Wieners, as the fans like to tell it. I'm just reading off their story.
Speaking of stories, I'll give you an oldie but a goodie.
Okay.
Back in the day, you know, jungling on Dig, we would experiment a lot with picks.
Okay.
And it got to a point where people were no longer interested in playing against us because I kept playing jungle Jace back in like the ancient Elder meta, jungle Galio.
Whoa.
Before it got changed.
Yeah.
I think jungle Karma, but that one was a little bit more acceptable. Just like anything, just try it in the jungle. I think at one point we tried jungle Lissandra. That one was not a good one. But Jace was definitely up there. That was a victory. And it might be one that Ever finds. That's the level 1 power of this champion is feared. You have your transformation, which allows you to actually close the gap, which does a lot of damage.
You can see that KT just gave away the blue buff. They're saying, okay, you can have it. We do not want to fight you 2v2 at this point in time. So Score will just take the Wolves on top of a ward.
It's a good invade there from the side of Ever, utilizing their early game advantages. And so far, it shows that they are aware of the powers of the Jace jungle, utilizing it to a full advantage. And that's kind of the story that this team has had so far. Every time that they have looked good, it has been off a good invade that at least acquires vision for Malrang to map out his route, to figure out where the jungler is going to go and try to get a lead. And you can see that Septed has also cooperated in this, going with a ward at the Raptor, or the ramp entrance of the red side to make sure that Score doesn't sneak out of there and go for a blue buff. So this team is quite good at playing around Malrang early on, and what we have to see from them is just closing out a game. At this stage, we have seen them get huge leads, and it feels like there's no lead big enough that we can safely tuck the game away and say, Ever have one. It's an engage on bot. He's dead.
Okay, goodbye. First blood immediately, 3 minutes into the game. And we got to see the tail end of that. Looks like the grand entrance was missed, but he was too close to the duo and took too much damage.
New and improved robot death. Target eliminated.
Newly upgraded after their recent losses. They needed that upgrade for sure.
Here it is, a level 2 spike. It's their half HP. They've been harassing this lane all the time, and unfortunately, Ella in a position where either he dodges backwards and gets hooked and gets the knockup, or he goes forward and dodges it, but still puts himself in the position to take enough damage to die in the end. So both Flash and Heal were burned out, and not a whole lot for KT now. Actually, Def did burn his own Flash, but Mata still has his, which is the critical one for this lane to go in unengaged.
Ella's going to be like a sitting duck in that lane. Can't really get anywhere near Mata after a certain point. And I guess the only thing he could have done once you get yourself in that position is you just have to flash the grand entrance. You have to give it away. You have to play that extremely passively because you have to know that you're going to die if you get that close to both of these guys, especially against the Kalista.
But the thing is, it's an emotional thing. It's not about, it's so many times it's not just about recognizing, it's about being in a position 5 seconds beforehand where you think, damn, I've messed up. If they go on me right here, and then you see it in slow motion in your head, ah, yes, he's coming in right now. Should I flash? This seems bad. All right, let's not do it. And like, oh, damn it, I should have flashed.
Yeah. It's surely easy for me to speak logically after getting the slow-mo replay after the fact, seeing it a couple of times.
No, I'm just shedding light on the thought process that typically happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm going for a little, okay. Thought he might go for a cheeky gank up top, but just putting down a control ward in one of my favorite spots. Generally sees any ganks coming around the left side of mid lane, but not a very often checked brush there.
Exactly. So many times the jungler not check that. He either goes through the blast cone, goes through the ramp. To check that position, you either need to be warding that one, which is already a highly defensive ward to drop out this early on, as well as it's just not on the way to anything.
Pretty much covers that one path. And so far, there hasn't been too much action, but already that bot lane looking pretty gross for the Ever8 bot lane. Kog'Maw having a bit of trouble after losing his support early on. Already about 10 CS behind, and here we go, again coming in, no flash out of Septed. You are too late, sir. You are gonna go down.
Oh boy. This looks like and feels like the beginning of the end for Forever, and I don't want to jump to conclusions this early on, but from what we have seen from KT is that when they are dealing with the lower teams, they dispatch them like it's nobody's business. It's so easy for them to find these opportunities, and a gank onto the mid lane that Zach at level 5 gets both summoners out of Septed means that now all he has to do is return to the mid lane anytime Orianna's there, and it's another freebie. And we're going to look at it again. No. Through vision?
He clears out the ward.
Don't tell me
they
this.
know
Are
he's
you
there.
Serious?
He just walks right over.
Yeah, he basically doesn't really hesitate. He just sits there. Oh,
and no flash, too. He just accepts it.
No,
and uses both of his summoners.
Yeah, he got both sums down. My goodness. That is...
I mean, you have to flash the elastic slingshot. That time it's a little bit more obvious, comparing it to the bottom lane situation.
Yeah, it got tweaked where you have a little bit more time, but you just should have been respecting that play. You know, you understand the ranges of Zach. You understand that if he gets onto you at that HP level with LeBlanc, you are potentially starting a snowball. And now Pawn gets to come back to lane with his Dark Seal, his fully stocked potion, and a revolver.
Just a small Null Magic Mantle for Septed, an extra Doran's Ring, refillable. And that's about it. Sad times.
And he cleared out the ward that you were talking about, the one that you really like. Because they're in such a defensive position already. With mid lane having lost all pressure, it has lost all pressure because he has no summoner, so he has to respect it completely. They have to place these kinds of visions. Typically, you see a lot of fights happening around river, not around these objectives, but now KT want a piece of this because they need to open up the route for Pawn to start roaming topside, to start threatening Camille. That's a split push. That's a win condition for Ever8 this time around. And as long as they can shut that down, it's a venue for them to grow more gold, as well as stop one of Ever's wins.
They're going to come over here and clear all the vision around the bottom side of the river. They're thinking about going for this blue buff. Here's the Fate's call. They're going to knock up Malarong. Immediately, Mata goes in with the grand entrance, trying to jump in. Nice shockwave, but it will not save him or the blue buff. That's going to go over to score, and KT continues putting on the pressure.
Nobody was in lane, but they still went for it anyways. And in the top side, you still have a big lead growing onto Smed. That's a 20+ CS lead already accrued, and this is just getting out of control for Ever. Already sitting at nearly 2,500 gold, and here comes the engage. There's nobody in lane. What could be going on? Well, the death of Jungle Jace.
Poor guy. Pawn even picks up the kill too, which means he's going to be even scarier. And, oh well, Sept did. We come back into life. There's the kidnap, and Score, he can tank this for ages. Doesn't even pop his passive. That's going to be another kill going over to KT.
All right, boys. Analysis out the window.
Pack it up.
Yeah. You're going to have to shotgun whatever you're drinking because it's already, it looks like it's going to be a quick one.
Yeah.
That's an under 10. Yeah, that's turrets down a red buff.
The KT cops have come in. They said, we're arresting you for not banning Zach. Please head home. KT is just making this look really, really easy, you know. Sometimes you see teams like Samsung, another team that's really far up, and you wonder, you know, how do they have trouble against Ever8? And then you watch KT just totally dismantle them, and it's like, wow, okay. You really get a sense of, you know, the mindsets coming into this one. KT playing it very, very well so far.
Oh, but KT, there's just so much about this team. You know, when the hype is already there, and you want to believe it. When you look at them, you get a glimpse in their eyes, like, ah, yes, greatness lies within. But it's like falling in love for the potential and not who they really are. That's the issue with KT. Like, you fell in love, oh, this person could be amazing. I have such a high hopes for them. It's everything that could be. The vessel is there for being the ultimate team, but in reality, they still have their struggles, and it's expected for them to be able to obliterate a team like Ever8 right now. So this match is no surprise to any of us at this rate, as we are prepared for another dive onto the bottom lane.
Yeah, jumping on in. Already with a gunblade is this mid laner of Pawn. They're trying to trade it back, and he almost goes down. But almost is a relative term at this point as KT pick up another kill. They're going for the quick win.
And that's what they're going to get. I don't think we have any doubt in the back of our heads that KT can close out games.
Yeah, these guys know what to do. And we're not necessarily getting excited. I mean, it's just Ever8 after all.
You're not excited?
I don't know. I mean, it just seems like they're rolling over a team that KT is obviously heads above at this point. So I would be a little bit more excited if they were doing this against SKT, or like Samsung, something like that. Still pretty cool to watch them totally destroy a team, take their soul away.
I mean, it was a greedy draft from Ever. We kind of play it up as, oh, this could be cool if they get to 50 minutes against KT, who has Zach and Kalista and Jarvan, Rakan, and also LeBlanc, so they have got a godly composition. But unfortunately, they just do not live up to this. And, you know, this could be their idea, right? You're in the coaching room, you're thinking, man, we're up against KT. Realistically, our struggles have been too much. What could we do? How could we learn in this matchup? Well, let's see them die first.
See if they do die. Well, it's going to be Ella at least. The Cataclysm duel doesn't have flash, and that means that he will go down as well. Double kill over to Pawn. That Pugmaw doesn't look so cute anymore as he goes down for the first time, surprisingly, in this game.
Yeah, so you see it, and then you're like, well, how about we just let them play their favorite champs? Just have them practice their whatever champion we want to work on as an individual piece for a future composition. Let's just let them have it. Malorang, play your Jace. You know what, Keen? Yeah, Camille. Let's put you up in the Camille here. Except that you love Orianna. Let's give you Orianna again.
That's definitely true about the Orianna. I don't know if the draft is true. I mean, we saw the coach go up to Malrong, like pat him on the head. He's like, yeah, you got this, Jungle Jace. This is good. Good comp, here we go. But not so sure about that. Definitely essentially gave this god comp to KT.
Yeah, they have no answers. They can't defend any turret. Everywhere is dangerous.
KT's taking everything. Get blue, they'll get Rift Herald. They'll take all the tier 1s, building up the golds. They're just trying to, you know, think about how to invest this money at this point.
You know what I wish was still available? Troll builds.
Troll builds?
Troll builds, yeah.
Are they not still available?
Yeah, you can't. You're not You're decentivized. I'll say it lightly, to not buy troll builds. So the biggest proponent to this was Darien from Gambit, from M5, who so often would get super fed and then buy Zhonya's on Renekton as second item, and then just mess around with that, or just go AD if you're an AP champion, splash a tier of the goddess in there, whatever it may be, and no longer can you do that, as it does in a way, show a non-sportsman-like conduct, which all right,
it's looked down. It's looked down upon, but I don't know. We could see Pawn build a little bit extra AD. He's already got some. He's already gone down the path of darkness.
Well, Zhonya's is more affordable than ever. So, no, I
just
mean,
saying.
Not more affordable than ever. It's more affordable than, like, it's the cheapest it's ever been. So,
ooh, duel. You can't get close to Pawn, buddy. Like, you can't even walk in the same path as this guy.
Perfect game. That's what we're gonna get.
It's looking like it. I mean, Ever is so far behind at this point. I mean, they're not even putting up a fight at this point. They're just like chilling. They're like, okay, what are we gonna do for game 2?
They're thinking about a dive on the mid lane.
You got to build up the perfect game score. You gotta play this one out if you're KT.
They're just giving it for free.
I would actually feel some pressure if I were KT. Hold that thought. Kidnap coming in. He gets nobody. Neither does Rakan. So Score gonna be in a bit of trouble here all alone. Will get popped on that passive. Will they save him? Pawn does have his TP. There it is. They do save Score. They want the perfect game, and he stays alive. And so Ever8 will not get a kill.
That was so good for KT. Not that they actually went well. I mean that they held back on the engage. That has been the pinnacle of so many teams this split. Going for the hard engage, seeing the compositions. They go dive balls deep, and then everybody follows through, but it's too far, and then the engage gets botched. But this time around, Score doesn't get the ultimate. While Mata gets to go in, he dashes out right away, pulls out of that engage. No longer a viable fight for them to take, and so they only walk away with a loss of a teleport, which could have been so much more, and that just shows the restraint that these teams at the highest level need to have to maintain at the top, to not give any opportunities to teams like Ever, to teams that are not going to be as active or as powerful as some of the ones at the top, and that way they maintain themselves with the hopes of still a perfect game.
Yeah, I like to think they were really playing their hearts out for the perfect game, rather than working on their team fighting and mechanics. I wouldn't be surprised. Would be a way to disappoint, I suppose. Play really well in the games against Ever8. Really execute certain situations. Oh, Mata, no! Saved by Fate's Call. We still have a perfect game.
But the damage on Ever is still quite high, so they have to respect that at all times. And now they're just waiting for the Baron. They're not going to be able to crack the base before this moment. We might see some action. Oh, Mata, you are low.
He's playing with fire. This team is willing to block for him. We got 2 minutes until this Baron, so a little bit of time. They were trying to take out as many turrets as possible before then. And it's only a Cloud Drake, so they're not really concerned with that at this point. Although it looks like maybe they'll take it for free because they can't take any other objectives.
What has been, let's change the topic, all right? What is, I'll share mine and you share yours, but I want you to start.
Okay.
What has been your most embarrassing experience here in Korea?
Embarrassing experience?
Yeah, embarrassing.
That's something you gotta think about.
Slightly embarrassed.
I don't know, I'll have to think about that. For you, it must be a little bit more obvious,
it
right?
was accidental. It was an accident. You don't want to share that? That's okay.
No. If I think about it, I need a little bit of time. You gotta be patient sometimes.
All right, that's fine. You know what? I read between the lines. I'll start. Jesus.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So this one time I was walking out at like 2 in the morning looking for a restaurant to eat. And I was just really hungry, right? I was super hungry, and I didn't know any Korean, so I was looking for any place that was open. So I see this place that finally accepts me to take food. Just a random guy with shorts, flip-flops, and an ungroomed facial hair. They let me in, and they serve me this big, big soup. But they don't give me any napkins, and they don't give me any utensils, and there's none around. I can't see any napkins or utensils around, so immediately the only spoon that I have is, wait a minute.
Oh, they're going. They got 2. They'll catch 1. They'll be knocked up and continue the push.
So
but you continue your story.
Thank you. So the only spoon I have are these wooden spoons that they've given, which are huge. They're like for display. They're massive spoons that just don't serve any purpose for eating, but I'm too hungry. So I just start chowing away. And I didn't realize that I was just spilling everywhere. Like the entire table, my mouth, my hands just started to get covered in this pasta sauce or whatever it was. And I remember people were just looking at him like, what is going on here? And then the waiter was looking kind of laughing because he knew he didn't give me any napkins. And I was just going to be like, I'm not going to ask. I'm still enjoying my meal. And then only the owner came in after and slapped the waiter to give me some napkins.
That is pretty funny, and this is kind of funny as well for KT. They want to kill, they got one! Oh, pawn went down as a groan goes out through the audience.
No perfect game. But yeah, the guy gets, and then as soon as I got the napkins, I cleaned the place right up myself.
What was with the wooden spoon, though? Why did you have a wooden spoon?
I don't know. I don't know what's up with the spoons.
They didn't give you normal spoons?
No.
Didn't have any metal spoons?
Nope.
Are you sure you didn't go to a place that was for like 2 people and that was the serving
spoon? Yeah, that totally
spoon?
was a meal for 2 people.
That was probably the spoon that they give to serve out into the small plates.
Yeah, I had a small plate too.
You were just eating out of the giant spoon?
Yeah, but there were no smaller plates.
They were probably hidden somewhere, like under the table.
No, they weren't. No, they weren't. But in a way, that was I'm not a passive-aggressive guy, so that was the most passive-aggressive thing I've ever done.
What, just go at it?
Well, like make myself messy and then clean it up after he gives me napkins.
Ah. Make yourself messy on purpose, you mean?
Well, I was just so
you were so hungry.
Hypnotized by the food.
You weren't concerned.
Yeah.
With that.
As far as I was concerned, that made the experience more enjoyable. A primal meal.
I'm still trying to think about my most embarrassing experience with like other people. I know that when I first came here, I was putting my laundry detergent in the wrong hole for like, for like 6 months.
What?
It was just going in the wrong place, man. I didn't know it was in Korean. There were 2 places to put it, and I was putting it in the wrong one.
Jesus.
I didn't know what to do. Nice try, Ever, but you're not as sneaky as you think. And so, I'll have to think about if I had any human interaction that was really embarrassing.
Detergent.
Yeah. In the wrong.
You're just too cool for school, man.
I did go on a Korean TV
Stay in
show
school,
once.
kids.
You know Running Man?
Burning Man?
No. Running Man.
No.
It's a Korean TV show. It's like a variety show. They play a bunch of games and like complete
Oh,
missions.
yeah, I heard you went on that. I heard it.
Yeah. Basically, the people that are on it are like comedians. You know, they do like gag, funny stuff. You know, just to be funny and
Oh,
stuff. So.
but see, I haven't watched a lot of the Korean ones, but have you seen enough of some of the Japanese ones are hilarious. Like, is it candy, or like chocolate, or not? Have you seen that one?
You told me about this actually.
Yeah, where they take like a bite out of an everyday object. They have to lick it or bite it to figure out.
Yeah, it's like a door handle.
Yeah, rent to secure as expected. Oh!
Ooh, big knockup and Catalyst coming on in. Cataclysm, that is. 3 kills, 2 going over to Smeb. He is bloodthirsty. They want another one. Can he get it again? No, this time it goes to Deft. Can they get the ace?
Of course. So in that one,
he's giving it to Mata. He did it.
Quick, while we have time. In the so this was like Chocolate or Not, one of these Japanese shows.
Hey,
so
we got another game, man. We got time.
There's this one where this woman is in love with this man. She's just viciously in love with somebody, but she's too shy to approach him. She's been in love with him for years. And she decides that the only way to declare her love isn't by telling him directly. It's by melting and giving him an entire statue of her in chocolate. So she gets a mold of her in chocolate and gives this guy a life-size version of her, fully accurate, by the way, to her specifications, in white chocolate.
Instead of talking to him?
Yeah, she gives him a massive thing of chocolate where she's literally naked in it. And then they call up the guy because he lives in a foreign town as well. They bring the guy on the show. The big reveal comes in with they have shown him the chocolate. He's like, oh, that's kind of weird. Why did you give me an entire figure of yourself in chocolate?
That's kind of weird.
I don't even need chocolate. And then the icing on the cake, he says, no thanks, I have a girlfriend already.
Her hopes were crushed. Just like KT's hopes of getting a perfect game. Keen had to ruin it.
Look at that
I feel like they're just playing around now. They're not even taking this seriously. I mean, they're almost 20,000 gold ahead. These guys are DED. Dead.
That's not what, dude. Did you? What? That's not English.
Mata, he's going in. So is Smeb. So is Pon's clone. And that's going to do it. What the hell was that? There was like a giant leash on the chain. Are they going to try to go 3v5 here? Deft is going to actually die. Are you kidding me? They're not going to kill the Nexus.
Damn it, KT. Why'd you have to troll?
Oh, will he live? No, not quite. Score, he's trying to play with Camille. Didn't enjoy it that much.
Oh, the minions! The Winions.
Those ones on the left, they got to aggro them. And they got an ace to the other side. What if Ever8 won from here?
What if I won the lottery?
I guess that's around the
what
same
what if
chance.
Giant squids were all of a sudden taking over, right? It could be anything at this point.
What if we were living in a simulation?
Oh, let's not get into that one. Yeah, we'll just have to wait for another team fight where KT decides not to Nexus laser dive. Right?
They're literally just playing
Mata
around.
dies right away. Smeb dies right away. So
Look at that. What is that?
you can expect this to be the way that these fights end.
King's fed. He's been eating his Wheaties.
I think he's more of a Choco Puff kind of guy.
What? You don't get that strong eating Cocoa Puffs?
Choco Puffs, not Cocoa Puffs.
Choco Puffs.
You've never had Choco Puffs?
I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs,
No,
Crumbs.
it's like better.
Choco Puffs, is that like the off-brand version that
Maybe.
they sell up in
Oh,
Canada?
God.
Like,
Wait, and Engage is out.
Okay, Deft. Can you survive this time? Yes, you can. Duel, what are you going to do? Do you have it in you? Does Pugball bring you to the victory? It doesn't fly you there. No, not this time. It's okay. We got our first win, KT, in 27 minutes, about 5 minutes looks
And
longer than it had to be.
Exactly what it looks like when a North American team or just a Western team comes to Korea to scrim for the first time. That's what happens. That's what we get to see it happen just live on LCK. And KT didn't even break a sweat doing that. Just having some fun out there on the Rift. But I am not looking forward to seeing the side of Ever. Hopefully their morale has not been hit too hard from that loss, as it was expected, but perhaps not in the fashion that it was delivered.
Pawn looks like he just woke up. See that nothing has changed. Oh, he's got a little smirk on. Okay. I think I saw him smile for the first time. And Ever8, at least they're still trying to learn from this.
Whoa, wait a minute.
I mean, the coach is telling them what to do, right? They're saying, hey, you messed up here. You did this wrong.
Hey, your Starbucks order actually was wrong, so you're going to have to play the next one without your fix. That could be what was said.
He's like, hey, I got the coolest story for you. He's like mid-story. It's actually nothing about the game. Kind of the way we casted that game. After like 10 minutes, that game was just impossible to cast.
Yeah, there is no way that, well, you know, we shared. Sharing is caring. But there was not a whole lot Ever could do. Their composition just did not give them any windows back into the game, and especially into what KT drafted as well. And this is where it all went wrong. A great first blood there from the KT bottom side with Kalista Rakan. Great synergy there. Even though the knockup did not hit, the position was all that they needed to walk away with that kill. And this is where they started grouping up. You've got Rakan, you've got LeBlanc coming in, and if that wasn't enough, you've got Zach there to back everything up, to secure that blue buff with a smite at the end. And just look at the range from the Wolf camp.
Yeah, from Wolves. He just tanks it down, even at level 7, super easy. And at this point, this is when we declared the game over.
There have been 144 games, counting that one in the LCK. And Zach was banned. Wait, what is this? Wait a minute. He's banned a lot. He's banned or picked in all of them. All right, he's got 100% pick and ban ratio. The statistics were lying. I got bamboozled.
The pick ban rate is 100%, but he's been banned 130 of the 141 times. So he's played 11 games. Tonight was number 12. So I think we learned our lesson again, I guess. Don't let Zach through, and then also give them Kalista Rakan.
Yeah, I thought Kalista would have been the answer for them right away into Zach. It's a good matchup. You can bounce around, dodge so much of what he brings to the table, but unfortunately, it was not. We got jibbed again in the Jace jungle. At least we got to see its debut here from Ever8. Was it all we hoped for? Not at all.
Not really. So guys, we're going to go to a break. You can go out there and tell everybody else to join the fun if you so please, but we will join you after about 8 minutes.